Our special guest this evening is one of the most respected operators in the Midwest hobby circuit, as well as the country. He also now takes the record for the most frequent special guest on Greeny Sports Cards Live since our inception. Brad Beeman is the organizer behind the rapidly growing, continually growing Shipshewana Card Fest, the show that has become a true destination event for collectors across Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, and the greater Midwest. It's known for its strong dealer lineup, family-friendly atmosphere, the unique energy that only Shipshewana can deliver, and of course, as you mentioned, the pretzels. Brad has built a following by focusing on consistency, transparency, and creating a show experience that both dealers and collectors trust. He's a steady, community-driven promoter helping shape the Midwest hobby landscape, and we are thrilled to welcome him back this evening. And with that, we'll say hello to Brad Beeman.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, Brad. I know it's a busy time for you. We appreciate you jumping on and go over some of the enhancements that you're making this weekend in Shipshewana, and we look forward to this show all the time. I know this year I won't be, or this weekend I won't be set up, but I'm hoping to be walking around. So I look forward to the enhancements, and let's talk about that. What's new in Shipshewana for this edition?
Before I get into that, you know how they say like Tom Brady, 7-time Super Bowl world champion, 5-time MVP. I think I'm Brad Beeman, 4-time Greeny Sports Cards Live.
We'll take it.
You are 4-time appearing Brad Beeman on Greeny Sports Cards Live. You're on the verge. We've got to get you a Joe Wismerski epic introduction for all your appearances.
No, I really appreciate it. Anytime we can talk about the show, Greeny and I can't help ourselves but to jump at the opportunity, because that's what promoters do, right? Anytime we can. So, no, we're super excited for this one. March was a record attendance for us, so there's a lot to live up to. And I will say, obviously, I'm partnered with Card Collector too, and one of the things that Ryan really stresses is that we have to elevate each show that we do. So we do have some new things happening for this one. We have we've always had a kids card scavenger hunt. It's part of the backbone of the show. But we actually cut out an entire section of the Michiana Event Center to be a kid zone. So if you're a mom or dad who comes with maybe a young one who's not quite a collector yet, and big brother or big sister is on the floor and they're a little bit miserable, they'll have a place to go. So we have a new kid zone that we're excited about. Our new VIP lounge that we introduced in March was a smash hit. So we're bringing that back and expanding upon that. And then a couple other surprises in the mix. And then we just found out today we have a really exciting signer. I wish I could disclose it, but I have a design team coming up with flyers and announcements, and that'd be a really crappy thing for me to do to get ahead of their work. But maybe if I see on my phone it pops up, I'll share it before I jump off here. But really excited. Anytime you can have a signer, that'll be on Saturday from 8 to 9:30 a.m. Maybe the earliest autograph signing in the history of sports cards, but that's when the guest wanted to do it. I guess the hint I'll give you is this guest really likes sports cards too and wanted to kind of walk the show as well. So anyways, I won't ramble on, but we're just really excited. We expanded to 554 tables. We were about 500 and just slightly less than that, but we wanted to stretch our aisles. Conversation could have with Greeny, just about sometimes as promoters, we fall in love with the crowded aisle picture, right? Like, hey, our show's so full. I think there's a demand out there by collectors to have a little bit more comfortable experience. So we actually stretched out all the aisles by 2 feet. When we did that, if you stretch out a floor plan long enough, you end up getting a gap where you can put more tables in. So we added about 30, 40 tables. So this will be the largest Shipshewana Card Fest we ever had as well.
Let's talk about the parking then. That's one of the things that people talk about at every show. It's not just the Shipshewana show. We had it at our show, and I know people ask that question there. What do we do about parking, Brad?
Yeah, so for this show, we actually secured the right across from this is kind of an only in Shipshewana type story. Across the road from our venue is the Midwest largest flea market. And the flea market, oddly, is only open on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays. It's not open on the weekend. So we did secure some more parking over there. I will tell you, Greeny, the mistake we made in the past, we've tried, just like you've tried valet, we've tried shuttle buses. You can't hardly get people to park off site. They'll just they'll just park illegally before they'll park off site. But the thing that we did for this show was we expanded the guys that will be in the lot, and they're going to point out the parking right across the street. You know, it might be 40 yards or so. It's not a half a mile or anything crazy, but we did expand the parking that way. And I will say, I think a lot of times, a lot of the buzz you see on the internet, first quarter card shows are just a different beast than card shows for the rest of the year. What's adequate parking for 9 months of the year might not be for 3 months of the year, if that makes sense. So I think between, you know, summer crowds versus February, March crowds are slightly different. I think between that variance and having a backup plan on where we can send some people, I think we'll be in good shape this weekend.
Brad, we saw record attendance at the Great Lakes Collectors Convention in co-located with the Strongsville Collectors Convention this year. You mentioned record-setting attendance coming off your past show. Our question of the day has to do with the economy, you know, and how it's affecting collectors. Do you have a sense one way or the other if the economy is impacting how people think about these shows, or are we just riding this wave where they continue to come out and as both Joe and Greeny alluded to earlier, it's still being treated more like a business than a hobby? What's your sense of the market in the Midwest?
Yeah, I would say the first inkling, I would say the economy's had zero effect in the last 3, 4, 5 years. Like I've not, the hobby's only grown. People only say they're bringing more and more money to buy for whoever they're buying for, whether it be themselves or someone else. I would say just recently I've heard a little bit about $5 gas. I do think the average family, it starts to become a consideration when the show is more maybe than an hour away, or half hour away, whatever their threshold is for that. So I do think the gas plays a little bit of a part, but from an economy perspective, it just doesn't seem, and I would love your guys' opinion, it just doesn't seem like the money's changing that much. If not, people, it seems like they say they're spending more on it. And to your point, the liquidity in the hobby, you know, kind of allows you, for some people who maybe are not doing a personal collection, but flipping these cards, you know, I think there's a chance for them to drive and make a profit, drive and move cards to offset some of the expense. But can it go on forever? I don't know, but that would be my take. I think the gas has a little bit of effect, but I don't think the economy's had much of effect at all.
No, we tend to agree. I mean, we see record numbers at these shows. Like even the 50 table shows are completely packed, and you know, some of our 50 table shows I could sell 100 tables if I could fit them in those rooms. So yeah, right now I think it's still as hot as it's ever been, and I don't see that trending downward anytime soon. Especially, you know, like you said in the quarter, right? So now we're heading into almost national territory, right? We're 10 weeks out, whatever it is, maybe a little less from Fanatics Fest and the National and the West Coast Card Show. So I think all of these shows now, you know, maybe starting with yours this weekend, people are gearing up for their national inventory. So I don't think any money is going to slow down right now.
Greeny, I'd be interested. I bet 3 to 4 years ago, I used to stop my show schedule because I've never had a monthly show. I've only done quarterlies or semi-annuals or annuals. I used to be like, nope, I refuse to do one in June or July. I won't do it. I'll wait till after the national. And it's like that. It's a different world we live in now. You know, we're planning our most ambitious card show we've ever done at the Columbus Convention Center 30 days before the national at the end of June. So that has been an interesting change for a guy.
You know what? I actually want to bring that up too, because when would you ever think that you would plan a 500 table show in 3 months? Right? Like you literally just announced that show whenever it was 2 months ago. And like, you know, when would you ever think in any day and age, man, I'm going to do a 500 table show and I'm going to do it in 60 days, right? Like, or whatever the number is. Like that should be something you do for a year.
Yeah, and it was in the works for a couple years. It's very, again, I keep saying Greeny can speak to this because we live parallel lives in different states, I think, as far as promoting shows. But it's a tough market in Ohio, especially Central Ohio, to find venues. And we were trying to find a venue that had a ton of parking, that was super reasonable, that could fit 500 tables. And that is a rare unicorn in Central Ohio. So we ended up down at the convention center. So to add on to that, to do it in 90 days and with the complexities of using 10, 12, 15 vendors, any, like at the Michiana Event Center where Shipshewana is, the same guy does everything for you. The same guy that books you there is your caterer, is your floor plan helper. At the center, at the convention center, there's like 12 different vendors, whether it's Mills James or whether it's Fern or whether it's all these different companies. The person that makes the sign can't hang the sign, and the guy that hangs the sign can't operate the forklift. And so you're just dealing with vendor after vendor. So it has been, I can't wait for everyone to see it, but on July 4th, I might sleep for 24 hours because I'm just exhausted.
Yeah, it's a totally different dynamic of dealing with a union hall, and you've got departments that have departments within them. It's a lot of stuff. Brad, we heard very similar remarks this weekend of $5 gas, but the general flow of these shows seems to be the same. You got on a 3-day show, Friday or the first day of the show, you've got big money walking through the door. You've got all kinds of deals taking place between not only the vendors themselves, the exhibitors, but there's big money walking in the door to have first crack at these events. And then in this case, a Saturday seems to have a big draw, big audience. You've got a crossover of all kinds of people. And then Sunday has its own rhythm as well when you get to day 3 and there's deals to be had. So I don't see it slowing down either, certainly until the national takes place this year. And with Fanatics and where they are in the hobby, just continue to add rocket fuel to it. And now PSA with their investment, we'd be hard pressed to see any of this slowing down anytime soon.
Yeah, honestly, the biggest, and I don't even know with breaking and things like that if it's as epic as I think, but the drumbeat that I hear the most is box prices. Obviously, that doesn't have a lot to do with the card show, but just hobby in general. That's probably the number one concern I hear collectors talk about is just box prices in general and being priced out and having to go through a break to get their products. So, but as far as, obviously the first quarter of the year will always be prime show season, but it's awesome for guys like us to be able to plan more than just a monthly, nothing wrong with the monthly, but you know what I'm saying, that more bigger events throughout the year and not have to just totally front load your schedule.
Yeah, we've talked about this offline several times, well, more than several, probably tons of times, but the sponsors that help all of our shows, like you have the VIP Friday, but you have free admission on Saturday. So talk about that, how the sponsors and feel free to say any of them that do really help to put events on like this.
Yeah, first I feel blessed. We have 15 sponsors for this upcoming show, and with our sponsorships, you can get in early to set up. You obviously get the social media mentions, and what everyone really wants is like the priority seating by the front door. But without those folks, we're admission free on Saturday. I truly don't know that we could be with the expenses of running this size of a show without their support. So they're huge, and a lot of these people, the greatest thing is, and you guys probably experienced this too, some of your flyers, you barely have to change the sponsors. You'll have 13, 14 returning sponsors, people like Key Cards and TNT and Logan Harris. And it's always a trap to start saying them right, because you're gonna forget some people or not mention everyone to not bore the audience. But just super blessed that like a sponsor like TNT, there's the ones that come to mind because there's crossover with our shows, Greenie. Not only are they a trusted resource to grade cards, but they also funnel a lot of money into the shows to help them be everything they can be. And our kid scavenger hunt is completely card shops donating unopened packs, and the kids go around the floor, get their stamps, and come back and get 2 or 3 free packs without mom or dad having to pay a penny to get in on Saturday or to participate in getting the packs. And Zion donates 12 Zion cases that we give out to kids, and that's always a huge hit. So much of what we do, I really think sponsors next level a show. You could have a show without sponsors, but they're what help you next level the show.
Fantastic. Yeah. We appreciate them. I know you do. Sponsors, they really do. They help bring the next level. That's a perfect way to do that. Before we let you go, the Shipshewana Card Fest this Friday and Saturday. The question that everybody wants to know, it's the biggest question of the weekend. How many pretzels? What is the over-under on how many pretzels we'll go through this weekend?
You know what's funny? So the record was like 1,280. Now you have to understand this. You think, oh well, 24 hours. We're only in the venue from 4 to 8 and 9 to 4, right? So the previous record was 1,200 and some. And at the last show, the building manager came up with an hour to go and said the record of all time was a truck pull that we had outside the venue in the parking lot. And they went through 1,950 pretzels during this truck pull. He goes, you're at 1,940 with like an hour ago. So we did over 2,000 pretzels. So we always joke the over under on some of the dealers is like 4 or 5 pretzels in 24 hours, which I don't know how they ride home without getting sick, but none of my business. Enjoy yourselves.
Yeah. Well, now it's 2K. Your over under is 2K pretzels this weekend. So
that'll be lofty. If we beat 2K this weekend, I'm pretty happy on Monday of next week for sure.
Well, what was it? Four-time guest Brad Beeman, 4-time guest of Greeny Sports Cards. Brad, we thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck this weekend with Shipshewana Card Fest, and we look forward to you becoming 5-time guest on Greeny Sports Cards Live.
I'm always on deck and ready to go. So I appreciate you guys. And you said be here at 7:40 and like literally brought me on at 7:40. That's professional work, fellas.
We try. We have a time. We've been told by a 13-time Emmy Award winner we gotta get on here. So
okay.
yeah. So very good.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Thanks, Brad. We'll see you this weekend.